Sarah kept glancing at her watch. Her husband Mike was already 15 minutes late. Nothing unusual, she thought bitterly. After 5 years of marriage, she had grown accustomed to his constant tardiness and excuses. But today was different. The waiter graciously brought her a cappuccino, and Sarah nodded gratefully. Taking a sip, she confirmed that the cafe hadn't lost its touch in making delicious coffee, and sank back into her thoughts. For the past 6 months, Mike had been emotionally distant. Working late, business trips, meetings. It all sounded like a broken record and had become an integral part of their married life, as if it were normal. But Sarah's feminine intuition told her something was off. "Oops, here I am. Sorry, honey, downtown traffic was a nightmare." Mike plopped down in the chair across from her, interrupting her thoughts. He appeared artificially cheerful, as if trying to deflect attention from his tardiness. "Have you been waiting long? Or did you just get here? I see they just brought you coffee. Hey, let me have a taste." "No, everything's fine," Sarah lied, sliding the cup towards Mike. "So, tell me, how was your day? How's that new colleague of yours? The one who rides that motorcycle that scares the whole office with its rattling?" While Mike talked about his day, Sarah studied him carefully. New sheet, expensive cologne. Who's he trying so hard to impress, huh? Could he have found someone? The treacherous thought flickered through her mind. "Honey, wait a second," she interrupted him. "I'll get it about the burnt-out gasket and how the exhaust needs welding to stop that heap of metal from rumbling. Whatever. Let's take a break from work talk. I have a suggestion. Let's have a romantic evening this weekend. We haven't gone out together in ages. What do you say?" Mike hesitated for a moment. "Sweetie, babe, I don't even have such a thing as weekends right now. This Saturday, for example, I have an important client meeting. Already scheduled, can't cancel. Jenkins from accounting would kill me if I don't show up. He'd be lost without my knowledge of the documentation, sitting there like a fish out of water and messing everything up. Maybe next week?" Sarah felt everything tighten inside. Just as I thought. Another lie. "Ah, you snake," she thought, but said aloud. Yes, of course, I understand. Work comes first." The mood was completely ruined. The evening dragged on slowly. Sarah tried to maintain casual conversation, but her mind was elsewhere. The plan formed suddenly. She would find out the truth, no matter what it took. Saturday turned out to be unusually sunny. It seemed a shame to spoil such a beautiful day with dirty laundry, but Sarah was determined. She saw Mike off, supposedly leaving from his business meeting, and immediately reached for her phone. "Katie, hey, it's me. Drop your nail appointment. Get over here. No, don't worry about returning that cream. I need your help with something else. Yes, it's important. Don't pout, just hurry up, I'm waiting." An hour later, Sarah sat in her friend's car parked not far from the house she shared with Mike. "Girl, you're working yourself up into a frenzy, I swear. Are you sure you're thinking straight? Are you certain you want to do this?" Katie asked, looking at her friend with undisguised concern and surprise. "Absolutely," Sarah replied firmly. "We need to do all and cross all the T's, because if my suspicions are correct, I'm going to cross him out of my life." Katie put on black sunglasses and pulled a bright pink beret down to the bridge of her nose, as if that could make her less conspicuous. Together with Sarah, they followed Mike to a small restaurant downtown. The fact that the whole situation felt like a cheap tabloid detective story made it even more depressing. At the restaurant entrance, Mike met a young blonde. "Hold on, don't jump to conclusions. She looks, well, questionable. I would never wear those boots." with that jacket. Total bagging being material. Maybe it's just a business meeting. Katie suggested, trying to instill at least a drop of hope in her friend. But Sarah shook her head. Yes, right. I'm sure he's about to hand her flyers to distribute at the subway station. Don't be naive, please. Did you see how he looks at her? This isn't business, Katie. Looks like he's about to wine and dine her. All evening they watched the couple through the restaurant window. Sarah could feel everything boiling inside with rage and heart, but she contained her emotions. She had a different plan in mind. Sunday morning, Sarah greeted Mike with a smile and a cup of freshly brewed coffee. How was the meeting, dear? How was Jenkins? Did he flounder like a fish out of water, or maybe more like a deer in headlights? Any other confused animals at the negotiable table? She asked innocently. Oh, great, actually really fantastic, Mike drawled, not looking up from his phone. I think we'll close a profitable deal, and Jenkins was on point. Dressed up for the meeting, you should have seen him. Turned all of his charm for the client. Spent the whole evening buttering them up. Did a great job. The contract's going to be super lucrative. I can already picture us signing both copies with the official seal. Sarah sat down next to him like a cat, gently touching his hand. I'm so glad, I was thinking, why don't we have a little celebration? Toast to your success. Mike finally looked up from his screen. Celebration? Well, I don't know. There is no success yet. We've only had preliminary discussions. Haven't even gotten to the meat of the contract yet. Isn't it too early? Oh, who cares? Come on, let's party, Sarah insisted. We'll invite friends, hand out like in the good old days. I even invited Ashley. Remember, my colleague from the tech department. The one you singled out when you picked me up from last year's Christmas party. The one you said dressed like she shops at Dollar General and does her makeup like she's working the cosmetic counter at Walmart. Remember how we laughed about her on the way home? You said she needed a Prince Charming on a donkey. Mike's eyes widened momentarily, but he quickly composed himself. Okay, why not? When are you planning to this get-together? Next Saturday, you said you were free, Sarah replied. Don't worry about anything. I'll organize everything perfectly. The party was in full swing. Sarah fluttered between guests, smiling and keeping conversation flowing. But her gaze kept returning to Mike, who was visibly nervous. Darling, she approached him. Meet Ashley. Ashley, this is my husband, Mike. Mike turned pale when he saw the same blonde from the restaurant. We're practically acquainted already, he mumbled almost inaudibly. Oh, really? Sarah exclaimed with exaggerate surprise. And where might that be? An awkward silence fell. Ashley, fearful, looked between Sarah and Mike, clearly not understanding what was happening. Oh, Mike, sweetheart, Sarah continued, taking the microphone from the party host and addressing the entire room. Maybe you'd like to tell everyone about your business meeting last Saturday. Dear guests, this is actually why we are gathered here today. May I have your attention? Mike, we are listening. Where did you and Jenkins go? The one who's like a fish out of water without you. Oh, how did you put it? I'm sure it was very productive. The guests grew quiet, feeling the awkwardness of the situation. They realized something unplanned was unfolding. Mike opened his mouth but couldn't utter a word. Oh, maybe you, Ashley. Sarah turned to the woman. Would you like to tell us about your contract? You worked on it too, didn't you? Mike came home very pleased. The official seal made quite an impression. Sarah, Mike began, but she cut him off. No, don't bother, dear. I saw everything, every single minute of your romantic date. The guests started whispering, finally understanding what was happening. Some began noisily pushing back their chairs and heading for the exit. Ashley, red as a lobster, quickly tried to disappear after them. "Sarah, please, let's talk privately," Mike begged. "Why are you humiliating me like this?" "Oh, about what? About how you lied to me? Cheated?" Sarah felt tears welling up in her eyes, but held firm. "You know, I actually thought about setting a trap for you too. Seducing someone, getting revenge. You know who? That Jenkins of yours. You praised him so much. I found him on social media too. I wasn't even put off by the fact that he's bald, overweight, and married. Don't you believe I could have gone through with it and given you a taste of your own medicine? You know why? Because all you men are the same. But then I realized I'm better than that, better than you." She removed her wedding ring and threw it on the table in front of the stunned Mike. "Goodbye, you two-faced joke," she said firmly. "And don't bother calling. My divorce lawyer will be in touch. Adios." Sarah walked out of the room with her head held high, leaving behind not just the bewildered guests and her shamed husband with his ruined career, but also her past life. Only Katie stood in the complete silence, mouth agape, clapping her hands.